Hi there folks, welcome to Dunsy's Guitar World. Welcome to another quick guitar lesson. Again, I'm wearing my Southern Rock hat, Carolina Mudcats, and my Southern Rock t-shirt, Blackberry Smoke. So recently I did a lesson for the Danny Joe Brown band. Danny Joe Brown, who was the former singer of Molly Hatchet, did a solo album. Today I'm doing another former singer, although he ended up rejoining the band, much like Danny Joe Brown did, the Henry Paul band. So Henry Paul was a singer in the Outlaws. He left in I think 1977, played on the first three albums, sang on the first three albums, and then formed the Henry Paul band. Did three albums there. I think the first one, Grey Ghost, is probably the one that's most like the Outlaws, and then each successive one became a bit more, I don't know, more kind of commercial, maybe more Molly Hatchet kind of 38 special, and then he did a solo album just called Henry Paul. So this track is from the third album. It is called Hollywood Paradise. Now, like all my lessons, I try and set the expectation level here from the off. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you what I think to be the easy way to play the rhythm guitar parts of this song. I'm not in any way, shape or form claiming that this is what is played on the album, but this is how I would play it. If someone phoned me up and says, Dunsy, can you turn up to rehearsal tonight and play Hollywood Paradise by the Henry Paul band, I would play it like I'm about to show you. Now, I'm not doing the solo, it's mostly kind of A minor pentatonic, I think, but at the end of the video I'll maybe go over what I think's been played in the intro, lead guitar, and then you can take from that generally the sort of notes you would be playing, because the whole song is in the same key. You'd be able to play them over the rest of the song, I think. So let's go on with the lesson. So the opening riff of the song is an A pedal tone. You're just pedaling on the open A string with a bit of palm muting as well. And then we're playing these partial chords over the top. So it's an open A and then the second fret of the D and G string. Back to the open A, and then we move up to the fourth fret of the D and G strings. Back to the open A and then the fifth fret of the D and G strings. And then we end up on the seventh fret of the D and G strings, all coming from that palm muted open A string pedal tone. So slowly. And then the second part we start the same, but we finish it different, so it goes. So when we get to the seventh fret, we bend that. I think it's almost like they're playing the like that. But instead of going from the eighth fret to the seventh fret, we're just bending up the seventh fret of the D and G strings, which can take a bit of getting used to if you've not done a lot of this. So slowly. This is the main riff. And then when we go into the verse, it starts on an F. I think it's like a full F chord down here. So coming out of the intro. Play that ring, hit it again. And then a quick push onto a G note, which is the third fret of the bottom string, or you could play the full G chord, but I think you can get away with, my lessons are all about, if you've seen any of my videos before, my lessons are all about what you can get away with and the easiest way to play something. So I think instead of playing the full G chord, you could just play the third fret of the bottom E string. So from the end of the intro, sorry about that, so I do this in one take, as per usual. So from the end of the intro, so we're playing that and then back into the riff. So we just play the first part of the riff and then we hold an A chord after that for a couple of beats. And then a quick A, G, F, power chords. So the A, 5th fret of the bottom E string, 7th fret of the A, down to the G chord, which is the 3rd fret of the bottom E, 5th fret of the A string, and back to that F chord. So I'll play that coming. What I'll do is I'll play the end of the intro and then the first part of the verse. Hold A again, and then we're into the chorus, which moves up to a D power chord, which is the 5th fret of the A string, 7th fret of the D string. Now again, there's a quick push here from the D power chord to a C power chord. So coming out of the end of the verse. So after we played the D, push to a C, we go to the G power chord, 3rd fret of the E string, 5th fret of the A string, up to the A power chord, and do that twice. So the chorus. Second time, I'm still playing the D. This time we move up to an E power chord and do this. Back to the D. To the D again, and then to an E. Finish with the Hendrix chord, which is the open E string, 7th fret of the A string, 6th fret of the D string, 7th fret of the G string, and the 8th fret of the B. So I'll play the whole of a chorus very slowly. And then it goes round that again. There's a solo in between the first chorus and the second verse, and you just play the riff underneath the solo you're playing. Back to a verse. And then we come to the main solo in the middle of the song. Underneath that, the rhythm guitar playing is just... So it's A, C, D for the first one, and then A, F, G for the second one. And it does that 3 times, and on the last one it changes and goes to the C, the D, and then up to the E again. So I'll play the whole of the rhythm guitar, which is underneath the main solo. back to a chorus again. And then I think until the end of the song it just plays the same as what it did under the solo. And that's all of the rhythm guitar parts. So let's look at the intro solo. Now obviously that was a little bit slower than the original tune, but it was just to show you what I'm playing. So this is just the intro solo, this is not the main lead guitar for the rest of the song, but I think the main lead guitar for the rest of the song, a lot of it is based on these notes around this scale. So the way I'm starting this, I'm sliding into the 7th fret of the A string from the 5th fret, and then catching the 5th fret of the G string, and then the 7th fret of the D. So it's like this, and again, and then the next bit is the same kind of idea but like an octave higher. So that is the 9th fret of the G over to the 8th fret of the top E to the 10th fret of the B string. So all together, those two parts, slowly. I'll do one more time. And the next note is the 8th fret of the B, and it does this little. So it's 8 of the B down to 9 of the G, very quickly slide down to 7 of the G, and then 5 of the G. So I'll play what we've got so far. And then we hit the 8th fret of the B and bend it up a full tone. It's quite tricky, you know, if you've not done this before, bending notes. It does take a bit of time to get things, you know, almost to pitch like I'm doing here. So what I'll do is I'll go over each part. As we're adding it, I'll go slowly. And then we catch the 5th fret of the top E string to the 8th fret of the B, pull off to the 5th fret of the B. So again, I'll go back to the beginning. So we're bending that back up again. The end part of that is. And then back to the 5th fret of the E, to the 8th of the B again, to the 5 of the B again, but this time we bend up the 8th fret of the top E string, which again can be quite tricky. So again, I'll go back to the beginning. then you hold that, and then it comes down to 5 of the E, 8 of the B, 5 of the B, down to 7 of the G, 5 of the G, and then the last part of the run is 7 of the D, 5 of the D, and we finish on the 3rd of the D, which is the F chord, or the F note of the chord that the other guitar is going to. So very slowly, this is a whole intro solo. And one more time, just for luck, see if I can get it right. And there you have it. That is a guitar lesson. Look at that thing above me. It's like I've got an orb above my head. So that was a guitar lesson for Hollywood Paradise by the Henry Paul Band. All the rhythm guitar parts and what I think the intro solo is. Now, as I said a couple of times here, I think if you take those notes from that intro solo, you could play that over the main part of the song where the guitar solo is. As ever folks, it's a privilege and a pleasure bringing you content on Dunsy's Guitar World. Just for now.